they've done. And tonight, the unexpected holdup. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and why she has not sent the articles of impeachment to the Senate for trial. Breaking news as we come on tonight, the panic at the mall late today, police racing to the scene at a mall filled with shoppers amid reports witnesses heard shots fired and the urgent hunt for a suspect right now. Also a deadly shooting at a senior center tonight, a resident opening fire on workers, schools on lockdown. The massive explosion, several homes collapsing and in flames, and tonight the urgent search for the missing. The horrific scene at the airport, the truck crashing into an airport terminal at 100 miles per hour, bursting through the wall, workers just inches away. Overseas tonight in Russia, the deadly attack at the headquarters of Russia's secret police, the FSB. Several officers among the wounded, and Ian Pannell is in Moscow. The woman shopping, then attacked in a parking lot, caught in the door as the attacker raced off. She is okay tonight, but what police have now revealed after this attack. Our interview tonight with Pat Sajak, the Wheel of Fortune host, on his emergency surgery and how serious this was. And our Made in America Christmas is back, and your one thing. Tonight, your ideas pouring in. Gifts made by workers in more than a dozen states tonight.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Thursday night. And we begin tonight with President Trump, less than 24 hours after becoming only the third American president to be impeached on two articles, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Tonight, the president, it would appear, is ready for battle, saying it doesn't feel like impeachment, calling it a hoax cooked up by the Democrats, and saying he's not worried. And the president calling the Republican-led Senate, where he will be tried, quote, very capable. But tonight, that unexpected holdup. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has not brought the articles of impeachment to the Senate. And this evening here, she reveals why. As a divided America remains divided on impeachment, where this should go next, and how it will all affect the race for 2020. Mary Bruce leads us off tonight from the Hill.
In the Oval Office today, President Trump tried to shrug off the new historic mark on his legacy.
Well, I don't feel like I'm being impeached because it's a hoax, it's a setup, it's a horrible thing they did.
On Capitol Hill, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is riding high.
Seems like people have a spring in their steps because the president was held accountable for his reckless behavior. I myself want to say I have a spring in my step because of the moral courage of our caucus.
But Pelosi's not ready to take the next step. She's refusing to send the articles of impeachment to the Senate until Republican leader Mitch McConnell reveals what the trial will look like. McConnell has said he's working in total coordination with the White House.
Our founders, when they wrote the Constitution, they suspected that there could be a rogue president. I don't think they suspected that we could have a rogue president and a rogue leader in the Senate at the same time.
Democrats pushing for the delay hope it will give them leverage as they demand to hear from top Trump aides the White House has blocked from testifying, including acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney and former National Security Advisor John Bolton. But the president and his allies insist the speaker is simply scared of a trial.
Looks like the prosecutors are getting cold feet in front of the entire country and second guessing whether they even want to go to trial.
McConnell has made clear he wants a quick trial and no witnesses. Republicans now accusing Pelosi of playing games.
Frankly, I don't care what the Republicans say.
So let's get to Mary Bruce. She's live up on the Hill yet again tonight. And Mary, late today, we learned that Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell huddling in the Capitol with his Democratic counterpart Chuck Schumer. You've been reporting here that McConnell has said no witnesses. Schumer has said he wants them. So what are you hearing tonight? What comes next?
Well, David, the two leaders did meet, but nothing came of it. Mitch McConnell tonight declaring that they are at an impasse. And he says if the speaker wants to prevent a trial here in the Senate, quote, fine with me. But one person who does want a trial, the president. And tonight, one of his top allies says Trump is, quote, mad as hell. David.
Mary Bruce on the standoff over the Senate trial tonight. Mary, thank you. And we do move on to the other major news this Thursday night. Police rushing to the scene at a busy shopping mall just a short time ago. Witnesses reported hearing shots fired. This is playing out right now in Oklahoma City. Reports of multiple shots fired at the Penn Square Mall, sending holiday shoppers into a panic for a time. Police did respond to the scene. They now say this is not an active shooter situation. They do believe it was a fight between people in the mall, and they are on the hunt for the suspect at this hour. All of this, of course, leaving shoppers very rattled tonight. And there was another awful scene playing out today, a deadly shooting at a senior center. an assisted living center in Westerly, Rhode Island, a resident opening fire on workers and on another resident. Schools on lockdown, businesses sheltering in place, and a robot sent into the center. Here's ABC's Adrienne Bankert.
Tonight, a shocking murder in a quiet New England town. Police departments from 3 states surrounding these assisted living apartments in Westerly, Rhode Island, just after 10:30 a.m.
There's multiple victims there, multiple victims.
One employee killed, a co-worker and a 67-year-old resident wounded. The victims, all women, shot in the front lobby.
I'm not sure where the perpetrator is.
Schools and a hospital on lockdown, businesses sheltering in place.
We had an officer come in and tell us today about what was going on.
Police scouring surveillance video identifying the suspect as a resident at the facility, using a bomb squad robot to go into his room where he was found dead.
The robot entered and found the suspect appeared to have a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
The incident rattling the seaside town near the Connecticut border.
These are people who just got up this morning and went to work, and in some cases aren't going home to their families tonight. And so it's another wake-up call.
David, one of the victims remains in critical condition. Authorities are now investigating what exactly prompted the shooting. David?
Adrienne Bankert tonight, thank you. And there is an urgent search right now for survivors tonight after an explosion and fire in a Philadelphia neighborhood. Several homes collapsing, trapping people inside. Cell phone video tonight capturing the raging fire. Authorities responding to numerous calls about the explosion and the smell of gas. The commissioner saying firefighters went into fully engulfed buildings trying to rescue those inside. Here's ABC's Ariel Reshef.
Tonight, that massive explosion rocking a Philadelphia neighborhood.
I haven't seen a movie look like this.
Leveling at least 3 homes and trapping people in the rubble.
We got a collapsed building on fire, wires down, people coming out.
Rescuers searching for survivors.
They actually were able to locate someone, but that individual was trapped under so much debris that they were not able to extricate them.
Authorities fear that person is dead, and tonight they're searching for up to 2 more victims.
Heavy fire, total collapse.
Panicked residents rushing for cover.
The young woman was coming out of the house. She's barefoot and she's climbing out. She looked kind of shocking.
Police say a home caught fire late this morning and suddenly detonated, some reporting the smell of gas in the air. More than 120 firefighters and rescue personnel responding as raging flames shot out of the building.
A maelstrom of fire, hanging wires, gas leaking, building collapsing around them to try to get into this building and make a rescue.
David, officials say the fire is under control, but dozens have been forced out of their homes as crews investigate what caused this devastating blast. David?
Ariel Reshef tonight. Ariel, thank you. And tonight, with millions of Americans set to travel for the holiday, the forecast is now shaping up. Storms in the west, brutal cold elsewhere, and when it should lift. And all of this, of course, after the dangerous snow squalls across the Northeast, this one moving quickly in over Manhattan in the last 24 hours. It was quite a picture. Another one in central Pennsylvania causing this massive tractor-trailer pileup, killing one and sending more than 3 dozen to area hospitals. So let's get the forecast looking ahead to Christmas, and meteorologist Rob Marciano tracking it all again tonight for us. Hey, Rob.
Hi, David. That cold snap came in with some force yesterday. It has settled in. It'll warm a little bit tomorrow, but really in for another brutal morning. Take a look at some of these wind chills. At Bangor, it'll be 2 below, 2 above in Albany, 6 in Boston, still in the teens in New York and Cleveland. Not really warming up until we get towards Christmas. Here's that atmospheric river hitting the west. It's already hit parts of western Washington. A lot of moisture with this heavy rain, heavy mountain snow right about the pass levels because you 1 to 3 feet of it, and big wind and waves coming in tonight also, and this will stretch all the way down to San Francisco by the time Saturday and Sunday come. So long duration event, 3 to 6 inches of rainfall along those western rivers. I like to see them rise as we head towards weekend. Could see some flooding on Sunday. David?
Rob Marciano out there on a cold night. Rob, thank you. And next here, the wild airport crash. A pickup truck breaking through the fence at the Sarasota airport, speeding across the airport at 100 miles per hour, crashing right into the terminal. Look at this, a rental clerk at her post when the truck smashes through the wall, stopping right at the rental car counter. Victor Akendo tonight with these remarkable images.
This is the shocking moment a truck slams into a rental car counter at a Florida airport at high speed. Debris flies in every direction, even through the glass doors.
The vehicle is actually inside baggage claim. We're not sure how he came in. It is smoking.
From this angle, seconds earlier, we see that white pickup barrel through the cinder block wall next to a baggage claim conveyor belt at the Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport.
We estimate right now he had to be going somewhere near 100 miles an hour.
Watch again. There's a woman behind the car rental counter. She takes a sip and then ducks for cover. There's another man one counter over. Incredibly, neither was injured. It happened around 3 a.m., just minutes after the last flight took off.
That was a blessing in the sense that there weren't people in this baggage claim area.
Police say the driver, 40-year-old Juan Monsivis, suffered serious injuries. Authorities say they spotted Monsivis driving in a reckless manner and tried stopping him before he crashed through a fence at the airport and eventually into the terminal.
David, police are still investigating, but say they believe the driver was under the influence. No charges have been filed yet. David?
All right, Victor Oquendo tonight. Victor, thank you. A former American Airlines mechanic has pleaded guilty tonight to sabotage in Miami. 60-year-old Ahmed Alani admitting to sabotaging an American Airlines passenger jet with 150 people on board. The pilot aborting the flight just before leaving Miami International Airport. The longtime mechanic telling investigators he did it to get overtime pay for fixing the plane. There's also major news overseas tonight, a deadly shooting in Moscow near the heavily fortified headquarters of Russia's secret police. Cell phone video tonight capturing the sound and the shots, people running through the streets there. Some people believed to be injured, and the gunman has been neutralized. ABC's Ian Pannell in Moscow with late reporting tonight.
Tonight, an attack in the heart of Russia's state security. A lone gunman opening fire just before 6 o'clock outside the headquarters of the feared FSB, Russia's successor to the KGB. Eyewitnesses capturing the terror as shots rang out in the streets around the FSB's notorious Lubyanka building. Panicked crowds fleeing.
We've seen dozens of police now converge on the intelligence headquarters as they try and take down this armed assailant. The police say they've got it under control, but it's still a very active scene.
This man says he saw the gunman dressed in black shoot a traffic cop. One officer seen lying motionless in the street. 5 people wounded, an FSB officer dead, the gunman killed. Tonight, his motive is unknown, but there are fears this was a terrorist attack. And as the chaos unfolded, less than half a mile away, President Putin, the ex-head of the KGB himself, was honoring his former comrades, toasting their success in stopping extremist attacks.
So let's get to Ian with us live tonight from Moscow. And Ian, we know Russia has seen many terrorist attacks before. What will investigators be looking for in this case?
Yeah, David, I think there are 2 possibilities. One, as you suggest, is terrorism, although there hasn't been a terrorist attack here in Moscow for at least 5 years. The second is that somehow this was some kind of disgruntled former FSB officer. Friday is National FSB Day. That's something investigators will look at. But either way, this was an audacious and unprecedented attack at the heart of Russia's state security. David?
Ian Pannell reporting from Moscow tonight. Ian, thank you. And also overseas, the state of emergency playing out in Australia and the U.S. help tonight. There are deadly wildfires raging amid record heat there. More than 100 fires now burning, destroying dozens of homes. Several people have been killed. American firefighters are pitching in the effort, more arriving on Saturday. The haze obscuring the famous skyline of Sydney, the average temperature across Australia hitting 107 degrees today. That's the highest ever recorded, and the second day in a row they've reached record highs. Back here at home tonight, in Congress has just raised the legal age to buy tobacco from 18 to 21 in the U.S. The new measure applies to the purchase of cigarettes as well as e-cigarettes and vaping products. It comes amid concern about increasing nicotine use among young people in this country and the possible health risks of e-cigarettes. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Thursday. The woman shopping then attacked in a parking lot, and we warn you, she is okay here. But surveillance showing her caught in the door as the attacker races off. And tonight, what police have now revealed after this attack. Also, as you know, less than a week until Christmas now, and thieves at your front door stealing packages. But tonight, you're going to see the sting operation right here. What police are now doing to catch them in the act. This was something. And later tonight, right here, our interview with Pat Sajak, the Wheel of Fortune host, on his emergency surgery and how serious this really was. A lot more news ahead here. Stay tuned.
So we're in this little town near Salerno, and everyone has dad's eyebrows.
We chose Eleanor. It was great-grandma's name.
So apparently we come from a long...